The majority of manufacturers advise braking pad replacement every 40,000 to 50,000 miles. That being said, you should replace the brake pads right away if you see any of the indicators we'll go over below. Removing brake rotors is one of the more expensive problems that can arise from letting brake pads get too thin. The type of brakes you purchase and your driving habits will also have an impact on how frequently you need to replace them. For instance, compared to a driver who commutes daily on the highway, you will likely require brake pad replacement more frequently if you spend a lot of time in stop-and-go traffic. Two-footed drivers also have a tendency to step on the brakes more frequently than necessary, which increases the frequency of brake pad replacement. In this video, we will cover 5 signs it's time to replace your brake pads. It's the Car Problems YouTube channel. Subscribe and let's get started. Vibration. Your car should have smooth operation and easy stopping power when you depress the brake pedal. However, as the brake pads begin to wear out, vibration may occur in the brake pedal. You might be able to feel the vibration through the steering wheel if it gets severe enough. The brake rotors are probably warped at this point and will also need to be replaced. Strange noises. A peculiar noise made when braking is the most obvious sign that the brake pads are failing. Usually, at first, you'll hear squealing or squeaking. Although this noise suggests that the pads are worn out, moisture may also be to blame. You should not be concerned if, after applying the brakes a few times, the sound goes away. If not, you should have the brakes examined as soon as possible, preferably before you hear any grinding sounds. The metal wear indicators produce a loud grinding sound once the pads are overly worn. If the pads are rubbing against the rotors metal to metal, this noise may also be heard. You may have to pay more for repairs if you don't replace the brake pads before this happens. Your brake rotors will probably need to be replaced by now as well. Longer stopping times. When you press the brake pedal, you expect your brakes to function flawlessly, but as the pads deteriorate, the system may begin to malfunction. It's necessary to have the brake pads examined when there is a decrease in performance. Usually, it only requires replacing the brake pads. But there's also a possibility that a leak in the system is the reason your brake fluid may be running low. A thorough inspection is necessary to identify the cause. Thin brake pads. If you're handy with mechanics, you can measure the thickness of the brake pads at home. This visual inspection is easy to carry out. Examine the wheel spokes on your car with a flashlight. You want to be very aware of the brake pad's thickness when you find it. Replace the brake pads if the material seems to be a 1/4 inch thick or less. Brake pad indicator light. Advanced warnings are available for almost all systems in modern cars, including the brakes. When the brake pad material becomes excessively thin, your car's brake pad indicator light may turn on. The dashboard also has an ABS light, however this light does not show how the brake pads are doing. Rather, it serves to notify you when issues arise with the ABS. Replacement cost. For every axle, replacement brake pads typically cost about $150. You can save some money on labor costs if you know how to replace the brake pads on your own. If the rotor needs to be resurfaced, you will still require assistance even if you only need basic automotive tools to replace the brake pads. However, if you choose more expensive brake pad materials or drive a luxury vehicle, these costs increase significantly. Organic materials are used to make the least expensive brake pads. When used in heavy applications, like towing or hauling, the more costly composite brake pads ensure less brake fade because they contain metal in the material, increasing its heat resistance. Hope the information was helpful for you. If so, please press the like button and subscribe to the channel.